Welcome back to Robot Wars, the Sixth Wars Heat 2, and as ever a roller coaster ride of thrills and spills coming up. Dodge 'em, bash 'em and crash 'em is our style as we fire up your imagination, but leave Roboteers' hopes in cinders. Top of the bill, the return of Firestorm, number 3 seeds. Will they survive, as all about them fall? Twice their fearful flipper has made the grand final, but they've never landed the title. As fierce as a forest fire, and ready to roll over all comers to please that all-demanding crowd. But be prepared, Firestorm and all of you, for our 2 new house robots, Growler and the awesome Mr. Psycho. And prepare to count down for the first ever sighting of the Drop Zone. Robot Wars, the Sixth Wars, anything can happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Master of Mayhem, Craig Chung.
Oh yes, welcome to Heat 2 of the Sixth War. Forget your Wimbledons, forget your Ascots, and the only hat you'll need here, madam, is a damn good crash helmet, because this is sport the way it should be. Full contact, bare knuckle, and the losers go home in a dustbin. Now Last time, the reigning champion, Razor, secured a place in the series semi-finals. But there's plenty of fighting before those, my friends! It's time to make a full metal racket. Let the wars begin!
Craig, we have 8 lean, mean, fighting robot machines, smashing and crashing head-to-head across 5 terrific battles. Only one survives to the series semi-finals. Now, from our first heat last time around, we know this is going to be one of the most spectacular robot wars ever, not least because the first round now consists of 2 4-way melees. More damage, more destruction. Let's see how they line up in round 1.
From Nutley in East Sussex, Spirit of Scorpion.
Fought in Series 4, now back with an extra sting in the tail. His name is Sean.
Talk me through what you've got here. What's your weapon?
Well, our real weapon is our disc that spins at 7,000 RPM.
Right, 7,000 revs per minute for people who don't know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what have you got on the front?
And on the front, we've got some rams which have spikes on the top.
Bright, colourful, strong armour, destructive spinning disc and front rams is invertible, but it's not too responsive when flipped.
From Tiverton in Devon, Robo Chicken.
Oh, Redbot, cry foul! Surely a poultry challenge from this?
See, I don't know if you've heard in the news, just, you know, the last few months about battery chickens not having to have such small cages. Well, this is what happens. Look. Look at that beak. That's awful. Look at the madness that is Robo Chicken. Now, can you do serious damage with this thing?
Deadly serious. This is world domination you're looking at here. This is top of the food chain from now on.
Entering Robot Wars for the 3rd time, never beyond the heats. Will they rule the roost with a pecking head and powerful flipper, or will this chook be plucked, stuffed and roasted?
From Horsham in West Sussex, Barbaric Response.
Now will the Barber family provide a close shave for 1 or 2?
Tell me about your flipper.
It's powerful, and we could make the chicken fly.
You can make the chicken fly. That's what we want to hear, and that's what we want to see.
Too true. Has a 10-bar body flipper and punch ram, lots of pushing power, 20-mile-an-hour speeds, quickest in the heat. But isn't that aerial too vulnerable?
From Belmont's In Hereford, Exterminator.
We've seen it before, but this time, really watch out for the axe.
Apparently this is the X factor that everyone's been looking for. This is what they're up against, Exterminator. What's it got?
Well, seriously powerful axe, scoop mechanism on the front, self-righting, no problem.
Yeah, now I'm going to talk to the technical member of the team. What's it got?
Well, as Marlon failed to mention there, this special axe is a dilithium coated tipped axe. Go through anything.
A four-wheel drive scuff steer robot, fast, powerful, experienced from 3 previous series, but it doesn't like being flipped onto its lid, and it has been exterminated too easily before.
Roboteers, stand by.
In the control pods, they're on the left, Robo Chicken, Captain Jason Snow, and on the right, Barbaric Response, Captain Zach Barber. Exterminator on the left, Marlon Pritchard, the team captain, Spirit of Scorpion, led by Jeff Smith. And in the arena for the house robots, the deadly Dead Metal, with the crushing claws, the serrated saw, and alongside Sir Killalot. Look at those great pincers and the deadly lance.
3, 2, 1.
Real blend here of experience and newcomers. There's Robo Chicken with the boggly eyes, getting straight into the thick of things. Spirit of Scorpion almost upended. Barbaric Response with the front ram there doing battle and pushed onto the arena side wall. Back in comes Robo Chicken. The pit release button there you see flashing has been released. So down goes the pit. They'll have to avoid that. Barbaric Response now, the meat in the chicken, so to speak. Frantic, feverish controls. Barbaric Response onto a side angle grind. It needs to get away from there. We can see an axe flying down. We can see the ref bot getting a little bit too close for comfort. There's the flipper on Robo Chicken. Seems to be doing better this time around. Robo Chicken has never really had any great success. Knocked out of the heats of Series 5 by Crustacean, I seem to remember. Barbaric Response, top of your picture, but there's Spirit of Scorpion in trouble into what we call a CPZ, the corner patrol zone. Go in there, and your meat and drink for the house robots. Circular Lock trundling away. Dead Metal comes out of the CPZ, just getting away as Spirit of Scorpion. Very, very tight this. Should they all be mobile at the end of the allotted time, then the referee will call on the judges to make a decision on style control, damage and aggression. And I wonder now if these machines are playing for a judge's decision, just a little bit tentative. We're not seeing a great deal of aggressive work out there and certainly no damage. There's a new feature in this series of Robot Wars, the spinner on the floor of the arena. Did you see it there? You'll see it again. Plenty more features in the arena this time around. Dead Metal Saw almost coming into play on Robo Chicken, which is up on his side and has lost an eye. Oh, what a gruesome sight. Oh. Well, it's certainly a battery chicken no longer there, it seems, because it seems to have run out of power. Or am I speaking too soon? We'll have to wait and see. There's the might of Exterminator, 100 kilos of push. Spirit of Scorpion, they're immobilized. Barbaric Response is trying to get some lift there under the serrated edge of the Spirit. Meanwhile, Robo Chicken is still alive and clucking. I'm not too sure. Exterminator had a little bit of a nudge. Was I a little bit too early in writing out Robo Chicken? Did I count my eggs before they were hatched? No, I've been told they are officially immobilized and out. Oh, Barbaric Response in the pit. I think they'll be okay though. I think they'll go through with Exterminator. It'll have to go to a judge's final word. But for me, Robo Chicken and Spirit of Scorpion will be the two to go out in this melee. Don't dump him in the pit. No. Can we get a message to Sakila? I want more punishment for Robo Chicken. That's it. Drag him out. Now, we have a new feature in the 6th series of Robot Wars. It's called the Drop Zone. Place him there. X marks the spot. Well done, Sakila. Obeying instructions. And the crowd will now count down. And that's what's going to happen. A washing machine on your head, son. What we've come for. Magnificent. You can be sure that what comes out in the wash in Robot Wars will not be clean and tidy. Don't air your dirty laundry in Robot Wars. We'll get you. But I think Robo Chicken is still alive. Unbelievable.
Contentious issue. The judges, and I assure you our judges are infinitely wise, have decided that barbaric response, although it was pushed into the pit, Robo Chicken and Spirit of Scorpion were immobilised first. So, Exterminator and Barbaric Response go marching through!
To me. The lobster did it!
Scorpion.
I'm sorry, I always get that wrong, don't I? But you didn't quite do it, did you, it turns out? You see, I thought you were clear winners there.
We thought we were, especially when the others were put down the pit. We all seemed to lose our drive systems at about the same time. But there we go. That's part of it, I suppose.
It is. It's terribly sad. Are you disappointed?
Yes, it was a very good battle and a tough one too.
Come on. Roasted, toasted, deep fried, whatever you like. This chicken was history, wasn't it?
It was.
It's kind of right from the word go as well. I'm just going to get in there with my damage cam so you can see some of the mangulation that has occurred. And look in there. Oh, nice. Right in there. Who did that?
We don't really know actually, but somebody did. We're one tough chicken though. We'll be back next year, definitely.
Yeah. Tough chicken doesn't go down very well, though.
No, you're right.
Go on. Well done. Thanks very much.
Confirmation of the menu thus far: Spirit of Scorpion and Robo Chicken out, Barbaric Response and Exterminator through to round 2.
From Preston in Lancashire, Megahertz 2.
At last, Robo Wars enters the computer age.
Megahertz. Now, here, what's this about an automatic infrared weaponry system?
Well, what we've got on the side of the robots
Yes.
and on the front.
I'm going in.
Oh, you're going in.
Oh, we've got the keyboard. Very nice. And,
These photocells here
yes,
detect a robot which comes within 6 inches of the side of it
Yes.
and automatically fires these axes.
these axes here, which you can't really see because they're padded up for now.
There we go.
Ooh.
Plenty of RAM from the 24-volt motors, loads of megabyte from the flipper axe and spikes, but monitor this lightweight armour closely and you'll see this computer bot could crash easily.
From Hopton in Lancashire, Cedric Slam.
Got a grudge? Got a monkey on your back? This has.
This is Cedric Slammer. Show me what's going to happen to Cedric and how he'll react. Oh no! Yes. Okay, Cedric's not going to last very long, is he? What have you got on this robot that makes sure your robot lasts?
Well, we've got a self-righting mechanism if they do manage to flip us,
Okay.
so we can get back on our feet.
Yep.
And it's a quick robot and it should get out of the way before it gets any damage.
Newcomers to Robot Wars, heavy steel blades on a high-speed spinning vertical car wheel provide the slam. The welding looks suspect in places to me.
From Langley Moor in Durham and number 3 seed, Firestorm 4.
Only Razor beat this last time.
Number 3, here they are, the Firestorm team. How long did it take you to completely rebuild this robot?
It's taken the last 4 weeks.
4 weeks, and they've completely rebuilt it. I think that's a huge achievement. Who are you worried about? Have you checked out the competition?
They all seem pretty good robots, but they do have the ground clearance.
Wedge shape with a pneumatic forward hinge flipper, two-wheel drive with a unique active differential, powerful, manoeuvrable, twice grand finalist, third in the last series of Robot Wars.
From Preston in Lancashire, Colossus.
Looks strong, and I'll tell you what, they're confident in the pits.
Okay, Firestorm, bad news.
Not too bad.
Cedric Slammer, bad news.
Oh no, no.
And Megahertz, bad news?
No.
No?
Runs on 11-inch go-kart wheels. The body panels are of titanium dural. The chassis made from 19mm square box section with a powerful pneumatic flipper at the front and diamond cutting disc at the back.
Roboteers, stand by.
On the left in the pod, Megahertz, Captain Dave Land. On the right, Firestorm, Graham Bone and Hazel Heslop. Oh, they all look happy, don't they? For now. And on the left there, Cedric Slammer, Team Captain Jason Orty. And on the right, Colossus, Captain by Robert Kenyon. There's Sergeant Bash in the arena for the house robots with the flamethrower. And once again, Sir Killalot, the deadly, the mighty, the awesome, the extremely, unworryingly ugly.
3, 2, 1.
So watch out for Firestorm 4 there to your right of your picture, the little yellow wedge. It is 3 for this competition. Already we're seeing Cedric Slammer involved and almost turned turtle by Firestorm 4 and the flipper. And indeed, thrust up and over there, Cedric Slammer, a machine that uses a self-righting mechanism. We call them streamex in Robot Wars, if you're unaccustomed to that phrase. But at the moment looks very sluggish. And were the wheels turning? If they're immobilised for more than 30 seconds, they are out. The judges will decide. And it seems to me that Firestorm 4 certainly has put paid to Cedric Slammer. Yeah, the weapon wheel, the vertical spinning heavy bladed wheel is turning, but the refbot and the judges are looking. There's Personal Sharky in the middle there, looked a bit quizzical, didn't he? But the pit release button has been activated by Colossus. Oh, and now they're flipped up into the CPZ by Firestorm. Firestorm looking pretty impressive so far. Now they've got off the megahertz. This is very good driving by Graham Bone. Very aggressive. And look at Colossus having released the pit button. Oh, and Sergeant Bash nearly into the pit. Then Colossus left themselves open for attack by Firestorm, and they've not recovered. The judges look on. I think they'll count Colossus out because they've been in the CPZ too long, having virtually driven themselves in there. I know they're twitching, but for me they're out. Oh, megahertz meanwhile, on the verge of the pit, Firestorm pushes them into what would normally be a bit of gloom, doom and despondency. I'm not too sure. I think megahertz might be allowed to carry on. For me, this machine, Colossus and Cedric Slammer there, have already gone in this heat. What do I know? Certainly Craig's going to have to help me out here, and the judges. Oh, that's all we need. Firestorm have now got it. Mayhem, absolute mayhem.
Firestorm, what a robot. Flips over Colossus. Colossus counted out. Flips over Cedric Slammer. Cedric Slammer counted out. Then he puts Megahertz 2 in the pit. But since the other two are counted out, Megahertz 2 lives to fight another day. Firestorm and Megahertz 2 go through!
Damage cam zooms into a little bit of damage there. But otherwise, I can't see much really. There's not that much damage inflicted at all, no? No, I'll come back round the other side. So come on then, how was it for you?
Hard, really hard, yeah.
It wasn't very good, was it?
No, just Firestorm just took it all really for us.
Really, really lived up to its name.
Oh, yeah.
Did it take everyone by surprise,
Good
do you think?
robot.
Hi! Shall I zoom in? Are you ready? There's the he survived. And there's the other monkey. He survived really well, didn't he, Cedric?
Well, Killalot was bedding his stuff and made it skid around.
What's he done? What's Killalot done?
He bedded his stuff around, so it made the wheels slip in.
He bent everything round in there, did he?
Yeah.
So you couldn't drive anymore?
Well, we could drive it. We could drive.
You could?
But Firestorm ended up skidding into the pits.
I know, it was quite an incredible battle, wasn't it?
It was all right, yes.
Did Firestorm take you by surprise?
Yes. He's quite a wicked flipper on that.
I don't think any of us expected him to perform quite as well as that.
No, you've got a souvenir off him though.
You got one little piece of Firestorm.
That's the first time we've ever had two robots ending up in the pit but going through. Megahertz and Firestorm. Out go Cedric Slammer and Colossus. This is the way they line up in round 2. In a moment, Megahertz against Exterminator. But first up, Barbaric Response and the number 3 seeds, Firestorm.
Barbaric Response. Now, who would you not like to go up against next?
Razor.
Well, that's all right, 'cause it's not Razor. Anyone else?
Firestorm?
Yeah, Firestorm is actually who you're up against next.
Yeah, I could guess that.
I'm going to go and have a word with them and see what damage they're going to cause. Okay. Come on. Hello. You're up against them. Barbaric Response.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you two have been all very quiet, but Firestorm really was amazing in that last round. Can you do it
Apart
again?
from the last couple of seconds.
Well, can you do it again? Have you done any tinkering?
Just charged the batteries, and we've ground a bit off the front of the wedge because it did get a bit damaged.
Okay, okay. Any feelings about Barbaric Response? Any worries?
Well, we didn't actually see the fight, so we don't know how they perform. They've got ground clearance, so we should be able to get underneath them.
And flip them. Flip them high.
That's the plan.
Hey, a tough couple of melees, but now our robots really feel the steel. Let round 2 begin.
From Langley Moor in Durham and number 3 seed, Firestorm 4. From Horsham in West Sussex, Barbaric Response. Roboteers, stand by.
The Firestorm team, design engineer Graham Byrne and design draftswoman Hazel Heslop. And Barbaric Response, Zach Damian and 6-year-old Bruce Barber. There in the arena is the Growler for the House Robots with that huge crushing jaw, and also Mr. Psycho. Together they weigh over 1,000 kilos. Don't go in the corner patrol zones. The House Robots will simply mush you. Firestorm just wheeling around Barbaric Response, which nudges the pit release button and gets in underneath Firestorm 4. It would be a huge surprise here if Barbaric Response were to win this battle. They are newcomers to Robot Wars. They lack experience. Those two have bags of that Firestorm 4. This is the 5th series they've fought in. Barbaric Response takes a little bit of a nudge and bounces down neatly, can get up to 20 miles an hour. By far the faster of these two robots, just the lighter. The red bot gets in the way. Firestorm pushes the red bot against the arena wall. You can see Growler there at the top of your picture. Red bot did get far too close. And Firestorm 4 it was, thrust him over, and now is beginning really to work up a head of steam. It rocked into Barbaric Response, which turns neatly away, gets almost there, stuck on an angle grinder, and Firestorm 4 is wedged in underneath, backs away. There's Mr. Psycho with that hugely powerful hammer raised high. Barbaric Response is flipped. Can they use the front flipper to self right there? I'm not too sure they can. I think Barbaric Response are wedged. Zach Barber at the controls. Young Bruce watches on. Firestorm, meanwhile, centre of the arena, staying out of trouble. For me, that's the end of Barbaric Response. Mr. Psycho, you could just see the huge grabbing arm there, entering your picture. But I don't think there's any response from the Barbaric one. No, there isn't. Firestorm 4 through to the heat final. Oh, poor little Bruce.
So he couldn't count Barbaric Response out, but Barbaric Response were immobilised for about 30 seconds. The winner, Firestorm! How old are you, Bruce? 6. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Did you hope to do a little bit better?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think went wrong?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'll ask him, shall I?
I don't know either.
What were your tactics? I mean, I'll tell you what, first off, it's a new robot, first time on Robot Wars. To be drawn against the 3rd seed is a really unlucky draw.
Yeah, we knew we were going to struggle, but we gave it our best shot, so
yeah.
I'm not too disappointed, really. Couldn't do much better.
Are you going to build it bigger and better and badder and come back for more?
Definitely, yeah. We've got some plans already, so...
Brilliant, this is what we like to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go mad. Barbaric Response. Unlucky, Bruce. Well, 3rd seeds, yeah. That was fairly easy, wasn't it? Not really. No?
Well, we got them up against the side there, and I could have gone and had a bit more fun, but I wasn't that confident that we'd be able to immobilise them again, so I had to leave them.
Why did you hold back at the end? I thought you were going to go woof, put it out the arena.
The way the flipper's hinged at the front, it's very difficult to get them out.
I tell you one thing though, you know, you flipped over RefBot, and you know our robots have very long memory chips. And he's probably talking to Growler and Mr. Psycho right now. And they might come and reap some revenge for that, you know.
Well, it's got to be done though, hasn't it, really?
It's got to be done, because it's Robot Wars, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the third seeds, Firestorm! Poor Refbot on his side.
No place for sympathy in Robot Wars. Firestorm 4 through to the heat final. Who will they face? Megahertz 2 or Exterminator?
Megahertz, now as good as new. Show me the before.
This is the before. Our starter kit.
That's after round 1. This is going into round 2. So remember what it looks like now, because you're up against the nasty Exterminator. And you have a grudge against computers, don't you?
Yeah, computers messed me around all my life. So we've made sure the axe is working especially well for this fight, because we're going to trash some computer, get our own back.
How many goes have you got with that axe?
About 50 shots.
50 shots. Should be enough, I reckon.
There won't be much computer left.
From Belmont in Hereford, Exterminator. From Preston in Lancashire, Megahertz 2. Roboteers, stand by.
Let's have a look at the Exterminator boys in the pod. Marlon Pritchard will drive on the left. Simon Baldwin's at the weapons. And as for the Megahertz 2 team, Dave Lund is the driver. Tony Lund is at the control of the weapons, and Gordon Keeling supports. There in the arena once again is Mr. Psycho. And Growler. Fearsome.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
This for a place in the heat final. And Refbot this time, stay out of the way. Exterminator straight in on the attack. 100 kilos, up to 18 miles an hour. Spinning to come again at Megahertz. Low ground clearance for Megahertz. You can see there the side sort of flanges that prevent Exterminator or other opponents getting in underneath. But they've still managed to shove Megahertz 2 into the flame pit. And part of Megahertz 2, the console already has been ripped away and flung across the arena floor. But did you see Megahertz there getting the flipper in underneath Exterminator? And they're not too bothered about that superficial damage. Top of the picture, Mr. Psycho looks on. Into the CPC goes Megahertz, and in comes Growler. Very quick across the arena there. Very fast. He uses a skid steer system. Very manoeuvrable. And down crunches the Growler jaws, hydraulically powered and crushing with a pressure of 4 tons on Megahertz 2. Megahertz 2 is now at the mercy of Growler, and thus far it has shown little signs of mercy. Exterminator then on top so far, trying to get the scoop in underneath Megahertz to tee it up for the pneumatic axe to come thrusting down. If Megahertz 2 has a hope here, I think they have to flip Exterminator. We know it doesn't like flipping its lid, Exterminator. And that's exactly what they're trying on the arena sidewall. Now can Megahertz 2 lift Exterminators 100 kilos up and out of the arena? I don't think so. What are they doing? Did Megahertz 2 try and take on Mr. Psycho? What with those little axes? You have got to be joking. The pit release button activated. Are they mad, Megahertz 2? But who's on top here? Exterminator, to me, has suddenly been bashed and smashed and hopes crushed. Or has it? It's backed away. Megahertz 2 has, we know, had that superficial damage. This is very close, you know, for the right to meet Firestorm 4 in the heat final. Now, will Mr. Psycho's entrance be decisive? Bash! Oh, I think so. Down came that huge club, 30 kilos in weight, travelling at 60 miles an hour, and still Megahertz 2 survive. That's the power of these robots in this series. You want to design one, you've got to come up with something to match this best of the very best. Mr. Psycho looks on. Down comes the grabbing arm. Poor old Megahertz 2 has done very little wrong.
judges. They're looking at style, control, damage and aggression. While they make their minds up, let's review some hot robot action.
Hot, it was at boiling point. Exterminator came in underneath Megahertz and thrust it into the flame pit. Point scored for Exterminator for style, control and aggression. More damage caused to Megahertz there. Was it only superficial? Growler took control of Megahertz, losing points all the while, but then it came back into it to flip up Exterminator almost out of the arena. Point scored for Megahertz. Until the very end. Will that be the decisive action? The judges will have to decide.
And the judges have made their decision. You know the criteria. Damage control, style, aggression. They've gone for Exterminator! Guys, you had a head-to-head with both Mr. Psycho and Growler.
Two brand new robots, and we had to get them both at once.
And I tell you what, Mr. Psycho almost turned you into a pancake.
It's a very powerful hammer, is that?
But you kept going, though.
Well, yes. Quite tough underneath, actually.
The sort of plastic screen at the top.
Oh, that's just cosmetic.
That's cosmetic.
Good job as well.
Disappointed?
Not really. We've got better than what we expected. We're only here for the fun and enjoyment, so hopefully we did better than what we expected. So.
Well, you actually inflicted a bit of damage on them as well, in a way, because their axe broke off and is in your body somewhere.
I think so, yes.
We pinched it, really. We pinched it.
Well, you have to give them it back later on, all right?
Oh, no, we won't.
Okay, then. Well, just guess what, then? I'll give them it back. All right. There's your axe, mate. That came off and was in the body of their robot.
Yeah. They did very good, you know. We thought it'd be a tough fight, you know, we knew that before we went in there. And it was. It looked good.
What was your tactic? How did you approach it?
Well, we didn't really have one.
We didn't really have one?
In all honesty.
We were just hitting hope.
It was, yeah. No, it was just, you know, there's a few house robots out there trying to avoid, obviously.
Of course.
Obvious reasons.
What do you think of the new ones, Mr. Psycho?
Isn't
he? Mean.
Dog is fast.
And his faithful hound, Growler.
Oh, yeah, dog from hell.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Exterminator!
They might have met the dog from hell, but they're dogged too. Exterminator through to the heat final as we say bye-bye to Megahertz too. And there, of course, they'll meet fellow veterans of Robot Wars. Firestorm 4, what a battle.
The crowd is tense, tantalised, teetering on the edge of their seats in anticipation of this final. But I'm going to make them simmer just a little bit longer as we see how our finalists got this far.
First up, Exterminator saw off the boggle-eyed Robo Chicken and Spirit of Scorpion to survive its first battle. With a lot of pushability, the axe came into play too. And I hope I'm not being a little one-eyed and biased about this, but I thought Exterminator was very impressive. Barbaric Response gave the best opposition. And the highlight of the battle for me had to be this, the first sight in Robot Wars of the drop zone. Robo Chicken survived even that. Meanwhile, Firestorm 4 was meeting Colossus and Cedric Slammer. Cedric Slammer were immobilised fairly early on. And then as Chaos took control, Firestorm pushed Colossus into the CPZ. It twitched, it moved, but the judges thought it was immobilised. Firestorm 4 then set about Megahertz. Both ended up in the pit, but both went through. Despite the tumble for Megahertz and the ignominy of Firestorm driving themselves into the pit. So we came to round 2. Firestorm against Barbaric Response. Slamming it over. Toppling the red bot. And then skillfully guiding with great driving skills Barbaric Response onto the arena sidewall. They never recovered from that. Exterminator came across the patched-up megahertz into the flame pit and very much on top, causing damage. Attacking again and again with the axe and the front scoop. But then Megahertz came back to worry Exterminator and nearly thrust it out of the arena. The judges were called upon to make a decision as the action became frantic. That was probably the decisive moment that earned Exterminator a place in the heat final.
It's going to be classic Robot Wars, the Chopper versus the Flipper, Firestorm versus Exterminator. Who will win?
Daft question. We will.
It's not a daft question, because sometimes I ask people and they always say the other robot.
Nah, it'll be close.
Can you
though,
beat Firestorm?
I'd say out of all the seeded robots, it's probably the worst one we would want to fight. Good surprise.
Are you worried about them? Is it a good draw or bad draw?
I haven't seen the axe working, so we should be all right. We've been up against Dominator before. We're a lot thicker now than we were.
But they
against
can
them.
presumably self-right.
So they say.
Doesn't always work like that, does it?
Not always, no.
Get them up against the grinder or the growler. That's what we like to see.
Thanks for the pep. Now, the general feeling out here is that this fight really could go either way. But there's one man who knows better than anybody. And Philip has joined JP for the SP.
So, Exterminator against Firestorm, the number 3 seeds, and flipping ferocious say aye. Philip has joined us from the pits. Now, we know Exterminator's had a bit of a problem, hasn't it, with the axe earlier on. Do they all help? Yeah, all help each other out down there in the pits?
They're really nice. It's part of the problem when you're trying to do a programme where you're pitting one robot team against another robot team, and then they go, oh, but we really like him. They live not far from us. We get together at school fetes and swap parts. You go, well, actually, can't you be a bit more aggressive than that?
And what about the Firestorm people? Because they've appeared very cool. How hungry are they for this?
Well, Hazel's very quiet, doesn't ever say much, but is very, very nice, but she never wants to be on telly. It's quite funny. And then Graham is very cool. You very rarely see even a bead of sweat, you know, even in the most difficult fights. He's a fantastic driver. Firestorm this year could go all the way, I think, because it's just zipping around like nobody's business. But they're seeded 3 now. They need really to be 3rd again, if not 1st.
You going to go for Firestorm in this?
I don't know that it will get all the way, but I think it stands a really good chance.
I'm going to go for Firestorm.
2 robots. Only one can go through. This is Robogeddon. This is the heat final.
Roboteers, stand by.
Hazel, you're on the telly. Everyone's watching. There with Graham and the Firestorm machine. And Exterminator, Marlon Pritchard, Simon Baldwin there at the controls. Marlon looks very confident, pumping up the crowd. In the arena for the house robots. Shunt with the bulldozer blade and the frightening axe, and Matilda with the flywheel and those formidable tusks. Terrifying. Ooh.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Winner of this goes through to the series semi-finals. Firestorm been there before, finished 3rd in the last series, twice a grand finalist. All a little bit edgy. Pit release button activated early by Exterminator. Perhaps they feel they have to get in an early thrust or 2. The longer it goes, so Firestorm would be favoured. Firestorm trying to get the flipper in underneath. Exterminator having the problems with the axe, making it work, making it powerful and penetrating. They've relied on the bulldozer scoop at the front of their essentially wedge-shaped machine as well. It's a bulkier wedge. Exterminator and Firestorm both weighing in at 100 kilos. Firestorm in underneath. Goodness me, that was close. And Simon Baldwin knew it. Now, Exterminator is tumbled and rumbled. And look at this, the power and pace of the attack by Firestorm in underneath. Great timing of the flipper. Exterminator rolled to the arena side wall. Well, he looks so cool, doesn't he, Graham Bowman? That was masterful driving. Because without the axe working, I don't think Exterminator can self-right. The ref bot can't remove them from the side wall because they're not impaled accidentally there. They were driven on by an opponent. They've got 30 seconds to self-right, otherwise they're out. And Firestorm will be through. Oh, Firestorm, get away from Shunt. That wasn't too clever, Graham, but was it? Look at that, they're taking on Shunt. Up comes the flipper of Firestorm. A hydraulic flipper. Not only are they trying to beat Exterminator, they're trying to thrust Shunt out of the arena, I think, and that's no mean feat. Shunt overturn. The crowd love it when the house robots are flipped and tipped and beaten and bullied, and we remember it. And we'll have our day. We will have our day. Firestorm, the house robots team. Well, we presume Exterminator are going to be counted out any second now because that's what you can see on the ref bot. And Shunt is trying to gain some measure of revenge, but Firestorm for the third seed, massively impressive. Exterminator counted out, Firestorm 4 through to the series semi-finals. Well done.
What a battle! Exterminated! Firestorm through to the series semi-finals! Lads, I know you're wearing sunglasses because you don't want people to see grown men crying on television, aren't you? It all went wrong from the start, really.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? We knew we had to keep him in front of us because as soon as he got onto the side, we were over and out of it. And that's what our plan was, open the pit and just try and get him in the pit as soon as possible. But and then we got stuck down the bottom end here and couldn't self-right.
You guys were so cocky and confident. I kind of started believing that you could pull this off.
Yeah, we talk it up well. Didn't work though.
Well, I'm trying to fool ourselves we can win.
They are the third seeds.
Yeah, very good.
They were in the final of the fifth wars. They're a fine robot.
The one seed we didn't want to meet, actually. We'd have a go at the rest, but not a good one to take on.
Look at the draw, really, isn't it? You'll be back, though, won't you?
Back next year.
Bigger, better, even more learned. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. Exterminator! You've got a death wish here, haven't you?
Well, you've got to have a go, haven't you?
Well, I mean, I don't mind you ripping Exterminator apart, but then don't have a go at Shunt.
Well, he was either going to attack him with his axe or knock him back off the side, and I didn't want either end, so...
You were quite happy that he was out of the game. But your robot seems to go forever. I mean, it easily goes on and on and on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good robot, yeah.
All right, then. Let's see if you go all the way. All the eyes are on you. Ladies and gentlemen, the third seed, Firestorm! Well, it's off to the garage and the electrical stores to try and repair the damage from Robot Wars. Bye-bye.
I reckon Firestorm will be the new champion. Yeah! Firestorm!
Firestorm impressive, but coming next time on Robot Wars 6, the return of twice UK champion Chaos 2 and George Francis. You won't want to miss this.